I think there's also a lot of people that are teaching school that don't have children of their own, and that also they get social value and social brownie points for embracing gender ideology because it's the like.
But how many generations until we lose? How many generations until?
Depends on what happens. One thing that this is the question: are we at the fall of an empire? Because if we are at the fall of an empire, I've talked about this before, but Douglas Murray, who's this British intellectual, who's also gay by the way, he says that at the end of every empire, they become obsessed with gender.
Fast Zone News here, back with more breaking news, and today we have a video that's unfortunately very controversial. We're going to be checking out and reacting to Joe Rogan's most recent podcast with Sean Strickland. They had a very honest conversation about the trans community and men playing in women's sports. These two did not hold back at all, and it was honestly very refreshing to watch. There is some pretty strong language in this video, so if you're a sensitive liberal, consider yourself warned. But that's enough talking, let's get into the video.
Cleo might be the first trans
Stop.
female athlete. UFC.
Jesus Christ, stop it.
He's already sensitive.
That's one thing that I'm happy the UFC would never allow.
Oh,
Jesus
dude, I
Christ.
every time I go on the news, I think like Joe Rogan's a bigot hating on the trans community.
What the is going on
Bro,
with people allowing biological men to compete against women? I mean, out of all the sensitive shit, I'm a pretty sensitive person. I'm pretty open-minded, but you gotta know, like, somebody sent me like a video of a guy in a dress with a heart-on in a bathroom.
Yeah,
you seen that video?
Yeah,
Taking photos of women?
Have you ever trained with a woman? Have you ever like trained
Yes.
with so you know Gabby Garcia? That
Sure.
I trained with her once.
Oh,
And I
boy.
was like, before we trained, I was like, told the coach, like, dude, am I gonna have to this chick up? Because she's bigger than me.
She's huge.
And I was like, am I gonna have to?
And she's on all the Mexican
her
supplements.
is probably bigger than this can. You know,
There's a weird thing going on in this culture with gender, and it's not good.
you know
It's not good. And I don't see it.
There's no more battles, man.
Joe takes this stuff so serious, and you can tell how much he really hates the movement. If you're a regular viewer of his podcast, he routinely says how insane the entire thing is, and how terrible it is for biological men to be competing in women's sports. I totally agree with him here, and I'm glad Joe had the courage to speak his mind on this issue. Too many people sit silent and let the problem get worse and worse, so it's pretty cool to see someone with such a big platform stand up for what they think is right.
There's women are working. There's no more racism in the real. I mean, there's still racism, but you know, it's equality. Like people just need something to fight over. We need.
Well, it's
something.
also an easy way where you can become special.
Yeah.
I mean, the New Jersey just said that there was a 4,000% increase in kids identifying as non-binary.
Yeah.
First of all, what the does that even mean? And allowing someone to say they're non-binary to me is like, listen, you don't have to embrace masculinity and you don't have to embrace femininity. You don't have to.
But you got a dick or you got a vagina.
Yes. I mean, we're making people special with no effort. And if you just say you're a they and a them and everybody has to say that, and if they don't say that, you can yell at them, which is what, you know.
I'm surprised you don't toe the line, dude. I'm shocked that you take
line.
that opinion.
Fuck that line. That line, because that's crazy. This line, the line of biological males competing against females, that's the line.
This is awesome to see how passionate Joe is about this topic, and it's what I've said all along. All the trans movement is a way to get attention. It's mentally ill people that don't like who they are, so they decide one day I'm actually a different gender. And when they don't see their parents call them out, they double down on the crazy. They create little terms like non-binary or gender neutral, and it snowballs into something even more insane. Joe's right. What the fuck do these terms even mean, and where did these kids learn them? It certainly isn't being taught at home, so it must be something more evil. For there to be a 4,000% increase in kids becoming mentally ill, this has to be being pushed in schools, and that's terrifying. It's truly just a way for these losers to feel special, and the fact that any state, anywhere, would allow these sick people to compete with women is disgusting. I honestly can't believe anyone supports this shit, and Joe is 100% correct. Something very sick is going on.
Well, this is the weird thing about this whole LGBTQ like coalition, like a group of people all connected together, because a lot of my friends who are gay, they don't like what's going on with this movement because they think that a lot of people who just would be gay are getting convinced into becoming trans. Yeah. They're getting convinced into becoming that they really are.
But you know we're
trapped
losing,
in a
right?
woman's
You know we're gonna lose this fight.
I don't know about that.
Oh, we're gonna lose this fight for sure. You know
what does that mean?
So it's like, you gotta understand, dude. They're gonna look back at us as like like we're gonna be the old racist white guy. We're gonna be the old racist white guy on the porch saying, "I remember in my day when fucking black people couldn't go to school." That's how we're gonna be viewed. I remember in my day when chicks had vaginas and dicks and dudes had dicks. Eventually, this is what the system wants. This is what the system gets. We will.
I don't think the system wants anything. I don't think that's what's going on. I think there's what I said earlier.
School,
I think there's an out. And I think there's also a lot of people that are teaching school that don't have children of their own, and that also they get social value and social brownie points for embracing gender ideology, because it's the like.
But how many generations until we lose? How many generations until?
Depends on what happens. One thing that this is the question: are we at the fall of an empire? Because if we are at the fall of an empire, I've talked about this before, but Douglas Murray, who's this British intellectual, who's also gay by the way, he says that at the end of every empire they become obsessed with gender. Yeah. And that is one very weird thing that I never saw coming. If you came to me just 10 years ago and said that gender and transgender ideology would be the thing that the president would be talking, he'd be sitting there with Dylan Mulvaney getting interviewed. Day 365 of womanhood. Yeah. Imagine, that's like fighting in the UFC. You started training a year ago. Like you're interviewing the president, you only been a woman a year? Yeah. What about all these other actual biological women that are running around that have been a woman their whole life? And you get in only because you
could be a woman of the year and not have a dick, bro.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a reason why men are better than women. Look, we even make better women.
I totally agree once again, and I can't believe the president is praising this shit. If you would have asked me in high school what a transgender was, I probably would have just looked at you like you were crazy. This entire thing is brand new, and just like Joe said, it's the result of virtue signaling. People want to get their woke brownie points for supporting this bullshit. Hey, look at me, I got my gay flag on the back of my car, right next to my Ukraine flag and my frame vaccine passport. The same people supporting the trans bullshit are the same people tuning into the woke mainstream media every night. These people have a total inability to think for themselves, so they just follow whatever the brain-dead news anchors tell them, not second-guessing it for a minute. And the trans mental illness movement is a direct result. These are human lives being ruined just so these insane people can virtue signal to their woke friends. The United States is in big trouble and has developed a serious case of the woke mind virus.
Well, Caitlyn Jenner was like Woman of the Year 6 months into being a woman. The whole thing is nuts, and again, it is a way where people become special without doing any work at all.
Your kid, but I'm saying your kids will
maybe. I don't know. I think it's turning around. I think people are pushing back against it now because they're realizing how fucking insane it is. But there's certain people that are just lost in the trance, and they're just pushing it.
Are these people like? Are they 14-year-olds? Are they kids? No, they're adults.
But young kids too. I see it with young kids today too. There's a lot of young kids that are pushing back against this.
Yeah, the amount of progress that happened for the gays in such a short period of time. Wild.
Yeah. And, I think a lot of people think that amount of progress has happened for the trans movement too. But I think what has to happen is things go too far and then they even out. And then what's really going to be a long string of lawsuits, which is 100% coming, is these detransitioners. These people that were forced to transition or encouraged to transition when they were kids, which is fucking insane. When I hear people talking about hormone blockers being reversible, like what? But what? At what cost? Like what is going to happen? Like there's a lot of people out there that no longer can have children. They don't have their penis anymore. They don't have their ovaries anymore.
You know what it is, dude?
They cut their breasts off.
Social media. I'll tell you what. Social media is a plague of the earth. Everybody wants to be special.
Yes.
And if to transition, it's a way to be special. To support that, the way to be special.
And you immediately get love because of it. Yeah. And it's a way to become special without putting in any work.
That's going to wrap up this clip, though. I saw it the other day, and I thought you guys would enjoy watching. I do want to know what you guys think, though. Do you agree with Joe that the trans insanity has gone way too far? Or do you agree with this craziness? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And as always, I want to thank all my viewers and all my new subscribers. And if you're not already subscribed, hit the button below to gain access to the latest news and content 7 days a week. And this has been another edition of Fast Zone News. Peace out.